my name is Terry from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 1 in our Woodland Sunset series. This is my design team project for CollageType for March of 2023. Now, as I usually start a design team project, we're going to go through the kit real quick. And I've left these with the border on, and I haven't printed them on the back yet. But I did mark which way they came out of the printer. So they came out of the printer like this, so that when I go to print on the back, if I print on the back, we may be doing a manila folder project, which we'll probably do. But then I will probably print on the back now that I think about it, because some of these will need to be writing cards. Okay, so here are the papers. This is a very nice kit. I printed this out on high quality, the highest you can print. I love the images. Then we've got some nice writing pages, or pages to decorate with pockets, and the pages all look like they've been torn off on the bottom and the top. But when you cut them, you're going to cut them square, so it will look like there's a piece of paper torn and put on your page. Okay? We're going to trim all the white off of all of these, and then we're going to measure for the width, because it's not going to be 8.5 anymore. Well, the height as well. It's not going to, the width is not going to be 11, and the height is not going to be 8.5 by the time we cut these off. This one's pretty. I especially like the birds. Well, and the mushrooms too, and the flutterbys, of course. This looks like it might be a good front and back cover, but I would like to decorate it, so we would either cover part of it or use something different for the cover. Use these for writing cards. Maybe. I'm not sure. There's a couple of vertical pages. These may come with the add-on. I got the add-on kit as well. And so I have a lot more ephemera than what you'll get if you just get the straight up kit. Okay. So we've got this vertical page, and then we have this vertical page. And I was doing a different project, and I used this page as an example because I liked it so much. And this is an envelope that I printed up using the vertical page, which we might be able to use if I cut part of it off, because this is a 9-inch envelope, and the pages are going to be a little bit less than 8.5. So, and this is the back. I used this paper here for the back. I think it turned out really pretty. Let's set that to the side now. These are the backing papers. I believe there's 4. There's 8 pages and 2 of the vertical pages, portrait pages. I like the backing pages that have the motif on them. This one has writing, so make sure that you've got that right side up. And so does this one. Okay. And then we have the ephemera pages. Now, there's a couple of duplicates, but different. In the add-on kit or in the kit, I don't remember which, there's this exact page, but with a tan background. I selected this one so I could use my scan and cut to cut them out. They're also big, so I may reprint them with another ephemera page like this one, 2 to a page, and make them smaller. I haven't decided yet. These are upside down. These are your writing cards. Now you can cut these out separate, but these look to me like, since these two are similar, they're not the same, but they're similar, that you would cut it out this way and then fold them in half. These would make good single writing cards. Okay. I split the ephemera in the add-on and the ones with this to the ones that I'll probably use. So, and there's a few that I think are similar to each other. So I knew I wouldn't use two of them. With this project, we're not going to be using a whole lot of ephemera of the, I'm not sure yet, because if we do a manila folder project, then we should be able to decorate with ephemera like this. And again, I may print these half size. Okay, so we've got our pockets. I love these vertical pockets like this. Here's some tags. Here's some tabs, along with a window and a pocket, or a window pocket, I mean. With these, just make an X with your straight edge, or your blade, whatever you want to call it, and then put your scissors in and cut it out around. And it makes it a lot easier. And, oh, it looks like I put two white ones in. I must have accidentally printed a double. And then there's this envelope. I like this envelope a lot. Actually, I think it goes this way, because when you fold the bunny up, he'll be right side up. So I'm going to try to use this because I really like it. Here's more on the page ephemera. And some more writing cards. I like this Flutterby one a lot, and the fox one. Actually, I like them all. I like the birds. The birds, the bees, the deer. There's no bees, I'm just kidding. And two more tags. Some stripes, like some washi stripes. And stamps. And ephemera to put on your page. Accents. And another window envelope, only a different shape. And some windows. Now, I would probably take one of these and put it to the back, and then put a picture in here, but not have it a see-through all the way through. And you wouldn't be able to remove the picture. So it would be more like a specimen slide with the paper on the back. That's what I would do. One of these. Okay, so that's our kit, and we'll be back in just 1 second and start our project. I will get out the manila folders and decide the layout. We've only got, I believe, 4 videos for this, so I'll probably be doing some of it off camera, and then we'll do a quick flip through at the end of video 4, and then you'll be able to see the finished product. Or product. Okay, so I'm going to trim these, or print on the back and then trim them, and then figure out what we're going to do as far as a base, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so once you've trimmed your papers, then I'm going to, or I have cut in half all of my pages so that I have halves. Okay, and I'm going to have some writing halves down here somewhere. Or do most of them have something on them? Here's one. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have some fun. This can be one. Figuring out where to put pockets and such. I guess we could use that one. I like these two as writing cards, maybe. And I need to figure out what I'm going to use for the front image. And I might take one of these vertical pages, or portrait pages, which are going to be our backing pages as well, plus they're going to be, one of them is going to be probably the background on something, or a couple of them. I really like this one with the motif on it. So, and here's the same one in tan. Come on. I'm trying to get to the one I want. Not the deer one. We've got the envelope, remember, with the deer on it. We're going to make a clip-on pocket thingy out of that. This one, I think I'd like to make this as the cover. So I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to label it cover. Of course, it'll be cut down, but it will be cut down in such a way that the owl, you know what I mean. And then we'll need a back cover too. But we'll figure that out when we get to it. So we're going to make this our front cover. Set that to the side. And then we'll set all these papers to the side. We're going to do a manila folder project. We're going to put our writing papers this way. Kind of stay organized a little bit. And then we've got our other portrait page, which is the deer on the very back. So that's the only one of those. So that's kind of organized. Let's see if I can get that envelope to work. Now I've got written down how the order in which I'm going to do this, so I'm going to refer to this. So we've got two regular sized, not legal size, but just regular paper sized envelopes with side tabs. Now it doesn't matter if it's the right or the left, it just depends on which way you end up folding it. I like the left because when you fold it in half, it puts this on the front and then you can make a pocket on the front. Okay, so we need to, since these are not full 5.5, then we're going to need to take a little bit off of this end to make them, you know, fit properly with just the little bit of tan around. Now, you'll notice this fits really well on this part. Well, we're going to cut this little part off. So anyway, but you're going to have, you know, this part where the tab comes down. Okay, it's going to be really close. Then you're going to have this larger area, and this is going to be even larger with the tab. So we're going to ink and stamp that part, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is cut them down in size to where it's 10 3/4 across. That gives us a little bit of a border around, and then the width of the papers. And remember, we want to cut off the non-tab size, or side. Let me open this up. The giant paper trimmer. This is my paper trimmer that I use. It's a great big one. That's why it's off to the side. I used to use a smaller one, and I put it on the work surface, but I use that as a oops, and then I almost did the wrong thing. 10 3/4. And you won't be cutting very much off. You're only going to cut this much off, so you don't really need to save it if you don't want to. So that's going to give you one that looks like this. And then we're going to make the other one the same. Oh, I can't use this one. It's been written on. I reused my folders And since we're not cutting the tab off, then I can't use that one. So 10 3/4. All right, then we're going to fold them in half. Now, it depends on where you want your top pocket. Now that I think about it, I may want the top pocket on the inside. So I should have used one left and one right, to tell you the truth. Let's make sure these are the same size. Okay. So it looks like we're going to have a pocket on the front. So we're going to fold them in half. Make sure everything is straight. It's really hard to straighten it once you've folded it, if you do it crooked. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to have a little bit of thickness here. That's all right. We're going to cut it. We're going to cut it, so don't sweat it. I'm going to do the same with the other one. Now, we want to cut this one. Do we want the tab on the back as the back cover? And I'm thinking that we do. I have to think about how we're going to cut this. It doesn't matter. We can always fold it back if we decide we don't like it. You're probably going to have a little bit of crookedness at the top. Never really been able to get it to work where one part doesn't stick out just a smidge. Just because of the thickness, I think. That one worked. We're doing this one not very well. Let's see if I can do a little something. Yeah, see, this is shorter on to here. This part right here is a little short to here. The side we cut is straight. So, okay, now at this point, I'm going to put you on pause. Well, let me show you real quick what I'm going to do. I'm going to, oh look, I did use that stamp before. I'm going to ink it all the way around, even the tab, and you want to ink it where all the folds are, even though we're going to be cutting some on these. You still want to ink them inside and out. And we're going to glue some, and you're not going to see it. Like in the center, we're going to glue one, but it's easier just to go ahead and ink everything. And then you don't have to worry about going back and inking something that that you're going to need to ink later. Now, there is one folder. Let me think about this. There is one that we're going to cut to a big pocket. And if we want to ink that correctly and stamp it, then we should do it now. So let's take, this is the front one. Let's do it on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut along this fold down to where we want the pocket. In fact, let's cut it all the way down to get rid of some of the bulk. And then we will cut this part off where we want the pocket to be. And we're going to make a rather large pocket because the picture that I've selected to go on the pocket itself is 5.5 inches tall. So we're going to make a 5.5 inch tall pocket, which is fine. We have a great big writing card in there. And so let's do that. So we're going to cut it down the center. This way you can ink and stamp the top of the pocket correctly. I'm going to cut it. Make sure I'm doing it on the right side. This tab's going to be on the back. Do I want to make the pocket here? Yes, that'll make it easier with that little deal. Or do I want to make a pocket over here? No, because we want to make a pocket. So we need to cut this side. And we're going to cut it down the center. In fact, you might want to ink it just so we can see what we're doing. And I'm using Vintage Photo. If you don't want, you're not going to see that much of this. So don't, freak out. You can tap it where you're not going to see it, just to make sure. Let's see if we can get that seam to show up where we want to cut it. Okay. And we want to cut this to the center. And just this side, not through both sides folded. And then we're just going to cut it to the center. Everybody say hi to Oz. Then we're going to take this, fold it up. This is going to be our pocket. So we're going to measure this 5.5 inches from the bottom up. So we got 5.5 inches. And measure that to there. 5.5 inches. And then we're going to cut this off the top. Then that way we can ink this the way we want. And then that's the only thing you need to do ahead of time before you ink. And if it makes it easier for you, ink the center on the part that you're going to cut, just so you can see where it is. I would save this and make a great pocket. But I am going to get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause, which you won't know is a pause. It'll just be a little jump in the video. And then I'm going to ink all this. Then on top of the ink, I'm going to use this stamp here. And these are leaves all along the edges. Now remember, you're only going to see a little bit, but I still want something there. And especially across here, because you're going to have the area that shows above the paper. So if you want to make a little mark so you know how far to stencil, or whatever. And then I'm going to ink the tabs, and then I'm going to put little mushrooms. Let's see which one I've got that's small enough. I think it was this one. Little mushrooms on here, or at least one. And it's all right, I guess, if the bottom goes below the paper. Thought I had, oh, there it is. There's the small one that fits right on there. Okay, so I'll be doing that one across the tabs, front and back on both tabs. Okay, and you're going to want to ink both envelopes, or both folders, and stamp. If you're going to stamp, you don't have to stamp if you don't want to. You can just ink. Like I said, not that much is going to show. If you just want to ink the part that's going to show above the paper, which on this side is going to be this much. If you want to make a light line, looks like I did cut this a little short. So it should have been 10 7/8, to tell you the truth. Or we can put it to where there's no border on the sides. And only stamp across the tops. You really don't want to. This looks crooked. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to cut 2 more and save these to reuse. Because, you know, that's the way I roll. It's got to be right or I don't want to use it. So I'm going to save these 2 because they're the same size. So instead of 10 3/4, let's go ahead and if we do 11, all it's going to do is make our little border with our leaves on it a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and make it 11 inches wide, and then we'll fold it in half, and that'll be 5 1/2 for these, and that'll be better because they're a little bit more than 5 1/4. But we're gonna make, I'm gonna make the pocket exactly the same. So you're gonna do exactly the same. You're just going to cut it. See, that should have been right. 5 1/4, 5 1/2, and 5 1/2 is 11. Oh, I did 10 3/4, didn't I? I did. Instead of 11. That's why. That's why it was my mistake. It wasn't my measuring, it was my remembering the size. So this is going to be 11 when I type this up for you. If you're a member of the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, you will get a typed up step-by-step craft along PDF that you can use along with the videos. You can also get them if you're not a member if you go to my Ko-Fi page. Okay? A couple bucks. All right. That's if you don't want to sign up. But you know what? Everybody there is fun and really nice, and you can list your YouTube channels and post videos and your Etsy shops on Thursdays and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to recut these, or cut 2 different ones, and then ink them and stamp them, and then I will start the video back up again. Okay, I just wanted to show you the second time around, even 11 inches is tight, but I'm going to leave it at 11, and I'm just not going to stamp up and down the sides because you're not going to see it. I'm just going to ink. I'm still going to stamp across the top, I think. Yeah, because you're going to see this here. However, I did a left and a right, and I folded one this way because this is where these 2 are going to be joined together. And then I folded the front one the other way. Do you see what I mean? So one opens this way, one opens this way. So the one that's going to be the back cover, which is this, is going to be the back cover. Wow, that's really crooked, isn't it? I've already folded it twice because I folded it the wrong way. Well, a way other than how I wanted it. This is going to be the back cover with no pocket. And then on the inside where the back cover is where we're going to cut the pocket. But we need to cut this one exactly the same way because we're going to have a great big flip down, which we can't do. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So we're going to cut this one down the center just like we did this one, but we're not going to cut it off for a pocket. We're going to leave the full thing, I think. So if we did a flip down, we could do it not all the way to the top. Because that's a big page to flip down. Maybe we should do this at 5.5 as well, like we're going to make a pocket, but then make it a flip down. And in fact, let's see, the pages are a little bit less than 8.5. So let's make it a 4.5 inch flip down. Okay, so this is going to be the flip down. And it's going to be 4.5 inches tall. Then when on our flip down, we won't have this big giant thing that goes, you know, all the way down. You can if you want, but I don't think that I want to. I think I want to do it a little bit different this time than what I normally do it. Okay, so we're going to cut this one like we are this one for the pocket, only we're only going to cut it at 4.5, and this one we're going to cut at, was it 5 or 5.5? 5-inch pocket. You know, I think it was 5.5. This is the pocket picture. I think this was 5.5. Nope. Nope, 5 inches is correct. Okay, so this is going to be a pocket. And it's going to be 5 inches. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on pause again and do all this stamping and inking and everything, and then we'll be right back. We'll do all the gluing for pockets and that. We're not going to glue this pocket until we paper it, but you know, everything else we'll start doing. Okay, so I've got this stamped and folded, and I changed my mind. Instead of using the leaf stamp across the top, I used this stamp right here off of this Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp set. And the stamp set is called Ultimate Grunge, and the number is CMS, like Sam, 075. So in case you're wondering, or if, you know, if you like the Tim Holtz stamps or stamp sets, and these are kind of expensive, but I really, really like this one, and I saw a lot of different uses for it. This one looks like a brick wall. So I went ahead and got it. Now this is supposed to look like cracked paint or whatever, but I think that it looks like plants as well. So I went ahead and did this on here. Let me put this away. And I only stamped the top where the tabs are and the top where the pockets and things like that. Now on the flip down, I stamped the top of it, and then when you flip it down, I stamped the top across here. What would be the top when you go across here? So, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these together as a pocket. Then we're going to glue this as a pocket. So we'll have a double side pocket here. Okay, and then we'll make two giant cards. Now we just want to make sure that we don't put the tabs for the cards across the center because we're going to tie it shut. Now the next thing we need to do, now that I just realized that we're going to tie it shut, we're going to have to take and put the paper on the cover. And then we'll take a scrap from this and we'll make our circle. I wasn't very prepared because I forgot. And then we will put the brad in it. Grab the gold brads. And we will put the closure on before we do anything else. Glad I just said that out loud. Sometimes when you're out talking out loud, then you remember what you need to do. Now, oh, it's right here. So let's set this to the side. Then we will cut this. Now we want to, on the cover, you can go ahead and do all the way up. Let's not leave the large like it's going to be on the other pages. So let's take this and we'll cut it here. Just make sure I can see my mark. And then we'll cut it here. And then that will be our front cover. There's our scrap for our circle. It's not enough green on there, but we can save this for a pocket maybe. And the reason we have to do this is we need to do it before we glue this shut so we can put the brad in. And we need to do this first, like I said, so we can put the brad in and get it done before we glue everything together. Okay, so let's cut a 1-inch circle from here. And then we'll need to cut 2 1-inch circles from this. Oh, wait a minute. I've already got a scrap that I've been cutting circles out of. And we'll need to cut 2 1-inch circles. Oops. Should have done this ahead of time. And we'll glue them together. And we'll have to ink them. You don't have to put a ton of glue. It'll take a long time to dry if you do. So you put those together. And then we'll glue this on here. So that makes like a 3-layer, it's like an Oreo cookie with the colored paper on the top. I don't have any glue coming out. and then manila folder in the middle and manila folder on the back. Okay, so those are still wet, but let's go ahead and ink it. Make sure it doesn't slide around. I'm going to ink the back just because I always do. Then we're going to punch a hole in the center. Let's see, I think, I think I'm going to do the smaller hole. Let's see how close I can get it to the center. That may be too small. I should have done the larger one. This is the last one I have of that particular gold. I have some other golds, but they're brighter. No. Yeah, this is fine, the smaller hole. Now we're going to need to measure where we want it on here. We need it to be at least an inch in, or half an inch in, so that our circle won't stick out over the edge. And we need to be covering the ink or the glue. Put it to the side. Let's put it 3/4 of an inch in, and I'm just going to eyeball where I want it. That's above the center. Put it down a little bit further. Oh, it doesn't matter. We have to put the paper on first. Silly me. Let's make sure this fits. Okay. So I'm going to ink the paper. I have quite a few greens. This is sort of a teal color, and I have sort of a teal, which is speckled egg, but that's very, very light. Then I have a forest green. Boy, this is really flinging the little pieces of foam, isn't it? But I'm not sure that I want the forest green against this this teal blue sort of a color. So we're going to glue this on. I got a little distracted. My ALEXA just told me a shipment has arrived, which is all well and good, except for I got my BB Craft package yesterday. I know that's what it is. I'm not expecting anything else. And I'm going to be doing an unboxing and a review. And that will have come out before this, because I record ahead of time. Anyway, then I went to get it last night because it came yesterday, but the mailman had put it in the mailbox in such a way that I couldn't get the mailbox open. So I might put you on pause and see if I can go catch him still at the mailbox and get him to open it for me. Okay, so that's on the center. You know, let's take a look at this. We can just do it by looking at it. Let's put it right about here. So now you're going to want to do it in between. And then we want to do the smaller hole again. Just punch it and put this through. And then open it up. Let's do it. Let's turn it so when we open it, it opens up and down. Then we're going to see how close that is. I almost didn't do it far enough in. Then we're going to put the tape, a piece of tape on it, to kind of keep things from getting caught on their way in and out. And it kind of makes a little smoother edge. Okay, and I'm going to put the video on pause real quick and see if I can go catch that mailman. And then I'll be right back. Okay, I think I just messed everything up. No, I didn't. Okay, I didn't catch the mailman down there. Please don't laugh, or you can laugh because I laughed. But this time I took my reading glasses with me, and I was able to get the key to work. Okay, so now this one we're going to make a top pocket so that we can slide things in here. We're not going to make a side pocket here, so I guess you didn't have to worry about sliding things in and out. Usually I'd make a side pocket here, but we're going to have two in the center. And I think that making this into a top pocket is going to be better because we have this tab here. Okay, so now to make this into a top pocket, then we're going to need to glue the two sides along here. Make sure this didn't clog up. I've only been gone 5 or 6 minutes, but still. Okay, so let's glue the sides. And then we won't have to glue the next part. Goodness. And I went ahead and glued up over that little flap because that's going to stick flat anyway. I'm trying to get this glue as close to the edge as I can to make the pocket wider. But we won't need to glue anything else here because that's the flap. And then you're going to feel a little lump because the closure's right there. But it'll be fine. So now we'll have a nice big card we can put in here. Okay, now on here we want to put a magnet to hold our flip up. We want to do that before we put any paper on. So we want to put the magnet wherever we want it on here. Minus my hair. So let's put it about where I drew the circle. Yeah. Now to put the other one up here, You just put the piece of tape on with the sticky side up. Up. Put the magnet on it. Then you close it up, and then you press down, and the tape should stick and hold the other magnet down. Just like so. Okay, so we've got that done. All right, now the other thing I forgot to say, I've labeled here because when we glue the two pieces together, that's the side I need to leave open for the pocket. The other thing I forgot to say, this one's a little crooked. You have to cut, because you don't want all this bunched together right in here. You're going to have to cut just a little bit off of the side so that you've got a little bit of a gap on this side of the fold. Now, I do not know how I ended up cutting this, but I did, and it is crooked. But I think I'm going to cover it with some of this. This is paper, and it is off-white, but it looks white on here. So I'm probably going to ink it and see if that works. It's paper, so I should be able to ink it with the vintage photo. The pieces, you know, that we're going to use. And I've got a scrap here to try it out on. Anyway, so you're going to want to do that on both folders. So now on this folder, all we have is to glue the pocket, but we're not going to do that until we paper this. Okay? So now all we need to do is make this into a pocket, just like we did the other one, only we're going to make it, well, let's see. Do we really want to make it a side pocket, a double pocket? We could put another top pocket here, even though it isn't very much of a gap. And then we wouldn't have the two. I don't know, I kind of like the double side pocket. So let's glue this one. We will glue it to make a side pocket. We want to glue this and this. This doesn't need to be glued, obviously, because it's the fold. And I did ink on the inside of it. It doesn't matter on this side, really, except for the edge. It inks the edge so that when you're looking at it when the folder's open, it isn't just manila folder. And then on here, when you're putting things in and out of the pocket, it isn't just manila folder. You do see some ink there. Okay, so we're just going to glue this like that. Then we only have one more thing to glue, and we'll have everything put together and inked, and we'll have the cover on, and the I've got some tabs as well. We're going to ink these. What did I do? I knocked everything off. Oh, and I had the folder unfolded. Okay, I'm going to glue these two together like so. And then that will make a second side pocket. So we're going to glue across here. So I guess I didn't need to ink that. Across here. But it just helps with your seams. Did I not ink that? I did, I just didn't ink it as much. And then across the bottom. Try not to run your sleeve through it. And then we're going to stick this to this and make sure you get it straight. So I guess it's a good thing that I did stamp everything, because you can see it from the side. And this is the spine. And then we've got, when you open it, then we've got the flip down with the magnet. Then you turn it like this, and you have a double pocket. And then when we paper this, we may put a thumb hole on this one. I know that it'll be after we paper it, but this is just a reminder. And then we've got our pocket here, and then our bag. Now I'm hoping we can get all this done. We've only got, I think, 3 more videos, maybe 4, depending on my schedule. I'm going to have to look again. And then we will see how we can do. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and use one of my mushroom stamps up here now that I know how much room I have, or if I am going to just leave it. I think because that would look like a mushroom on the top of his head, I don't think I'm going to stamp it. Now, I may, I'm not sure what. So, I'm going to do something down here. I'm just not sure what. I think a nice big cluster would look nice. I'm just not very good at those, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Maybe we'll put a pocket as something different, make a pocket out of this paper. That's kind of a good idea. Then we could see through it, whatever we put in it. That's kind of neat. Okay, let's do that. We'll do that. So that's the end of this video, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.